Salesforce permission set. Now, what is this permission set and why do we use it? So last class we have seen user and profile. And profile is going to decide what user can do on the object level. So that can be decided in the profile level. So last class we have seen the user and profile. Now today we are going to see permission set. So permission set, what is the permission set? Permission set is basically it extends the functionality of the whatever the user is having the profile, right? It extends the functionality of the user without changing their profiles. For example, let's take a scenario like I have a user 1, user 2, user 3. Three users are there. Three different users are there. User 1 and user 2 and user 3. So three different users. Now three different users are assigned to the same profile. Same profile. Now they both are having the all three members having the same profile. Profile is common for everyone. So we have created a one profile, which we have already seen what is the profile. Let's say so there is a profile and this profile is having a access. Let's assume profile is some, yesterday we have created some profile, let's say data or custom system admin. Right, so in the custom system admin, assume that we have given an object level access. Account is contact is also read and create. Similarly, we have a opportunity. Same thing, read and create. They do not have a edit access. Lead is also, they have a read and create. Now this is the access, it is defined at the profile level. And this profile is assigned to user 1. And this same profile is assigned to user 2. And the same profile is assigned to user 3. Now, very later, sometime, what they said is, we have received an additional requirement. We have received an additional requirement where they are saying that here the requirement is user 3 should have a full access. User 3 have a full access. Now, if user 3 need a full access means all the object they should have a read, create, edit, delete, right? So these are the should be there. All the access should be there. View all, modify all. So right, so these are the different access they needed. Now this is only for the user 3. Now if I change the profile, in case if I change it here profile, so what will happen if I change the profile? It is going to impact user 2, user 1, user 2, user 3. But we do not want that scenario here. Only the user 3. Only the user 3 should have a additional access. Now I cannot modify the profile. I cannot modify the profile. In that scenario, what we will do is we will implement a additional functionality which is called as a permission set. We will implement additional functionality which is called permission set. So using this new permission set, permission set. Using this permission set, in the permission set, what we will give all the object access read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all, everything we will. Now here, user will have a complete access and we will assign this permission set to the user 3. So that what will happen, user 3 will get a additional access. So the purpose of permission set is to extend the functionality. Whatever the profile is providing the functionality or whatever the access provided by the profile, instead of modifying the profile, what we can do is we can extend the access by providing the permission set. And we will use the permission set to grant the additional access to a specific user on top of the whatever the profile they have it. So on top of it, if they want any additional access, then we will provide using the permission set so that I cannot modify the existing profile. So to create a permission set, like there are few objects, what kind of a permissions we will provide it. So let's say here, whenever we are creating the profile or a permissions, so let's see in the permission set what we can control it. So here object permission, field permission, user permission, tab setting, app setting, and Apex classes, Visual Force pages. These all almost similar, whatever we have it in the say profile level, same thing will be available, right? So, but only the thing is that in the profile level, we have a session settings tab, right? Session settings or a login IP address, login hours, those things will not be available on the permission set, like your password policies. Those things cannot be available in the permission set. Now to create a permission set, we need to go to the setup user and search for a permission set, click on a new button. When you click on a new button, it will open up the permission set window. Now here we need to give a name of the permission set, right? So then we need to give the session activation required. Now here, check the checkbox session activation required. This will make the permission set as a session-based permission set. Right? If you want a session-based permission set, then only you can check this. License, it's not required. So if you want, you can assign the license, but there is a restriction here. Now I'll show you that restriction. Let's go ahead and create a one permission set. I see the profile level. Let's see the first profile level. What kind of a permissions we have given. So yesterday when we created the profile name is vehicle manager. We have created a profile vehicle manager. In this vehicle manager, we have removed the delete access on the object level. You look at app level, we have provided some only few apps, right? So let's say here, I'm going to remove the Swapna IT. And also I'll remove the, yes, Swapna IT should be fine. So I'll remove that custom application as well as at the object level. So account does not have a delete access, right? Account does not have a delete access. We have removed the delete access. Now this is at the profile level. And this profile is we have assigned to the Eric. If you go to the assigned permission set, assigned profiles, like a view users. If you see the view users, now this is a user we have assigned a vehicle manager profile. Now what I'll do is I'll try to log in as this user. Copy the email ID. So this is the email ID, copy this. Now let's try to log in as this user, incognito. Login.salesforce.com. Verification code. Let's get the verification code. Verify. So this user, if I click on the view all, click on view all. Now this user is not able to see the custom application, which is a Swapna ID, and account level does not have a delete access. I go to the any record, and if I try to delete this record, I do not have this person do not have a delete access. Delete option is not available. Now we are going to create a new permission set. So in order to create a permission set, let's go here, permission set, setup, search for a permission set. Here, we are going to create a new permission set. Now in this scenario, let me create a permission set, which is a app permission set. Assume that permission set name is app permission set. These two are mandatory, rest all things are not mandatory. License, I'm not providing the license. Click on a save. Once we click on a save, it is going to open here permission set information. Let's say app permission set. We have to open the assigned app. In the assigned app, click on edit. These are the installed apps. Now here by default, nothing will be there, but if I want, I can choose this application. Now I have added the application, click on a save. Similarly, we'll go to the object level. Permission set, let's go to the object setting. In this object setting, let's provide the account level. By default, account level is a no access only permission set. So what we need to do is we need to give a delete access here. So I need to give delete access, right? So both the records, types, and then click on a save. Permission setup is done. Once the setup is done, click on here, manage assignment. You can add an assignment here. Let's say here I'm going to add the user, which is called Eric. So select the Eric and click on the next button. I'm assigning the user to permission set. Now, when you assign a user to permission set, you can do the assignment in both the ways. Either you can go to directly user level and assign a permission set. So if you go to the user level, open the user. User level, you can assign the permission set. Let's go to the user. User is Eric. Click on this user. On this user, we have a permission set assignment. So you can go to the permission set group assignment or a permission set assignment. So these are the permission set assignment. You can click on this edit assignment. You can assign it yourself from the user level. So that means you can assign the permission set from the user level, or else from the permission set also you can assign the user. So if you are assigning the user from the permission set, there are few things are available. No expiration date, specify the expiration date. So you want this permission should be given only temporarily. For 1 week, give the permission set to this user. So you can specify 1 week. If it is a 30 days, 60 days, just provide the permission set only for 30 days. Or if you want to specify any custom date, you can specify the custom date. Or if you do not want any expiration date, then by default, choose it here, no expiration date, and click on it, assign. Once we click on it, assign, what will happen? It is assigned. The permission set is assigned to user. The permission set is assigned to user. Now, if I go back here, cancel, and if I refresh this user, now you will be able to see there is a one permission set is assigned to user. So this permission set is assigned to user. Now let's log in as a Eric. Go on refresh. Click on this, view all. Now here I can see the Swapna ID. So application, I'm able to see the Swapna ID, and account level. If I open this account, I should be having the delete access. That means Eric will be having a delete access. Now we have a delete option, right? If I try to delete it, it will be allowed to delete. Click on all accounts. Let's say I'm going to open this Salesforce. Salesforce has a contact. Let's open here Wipro. So if I try to delete it, it will be deleted. Click on this delete. Why it is saying I do not have a permission? So did we change at the OWD level something? Let me check. It is available. Now why it says delete is not available? We check the permission set, open permission set, object level. We have provided the permission set, read, edit, delete. So let's click on the edit button. Let's specify here, modify all, and click on this save. Let's try. Click on this refresh. Let's refresh one more time. Let's click on delete. Now it is deleted because we were not having the modify all access, right? So we were not having the modify access. So I have given the modify all in the permission set. Now we have it. Now it is able to delete it. So like this, one user can have a multiple permission set. One user can have a multiple permission set. Now tomorrow, if they want to add one more permission set to the same user, so they can add multiple permission set. So this is one permission set, again one more permission set, I can create it and I can add to the user. Again, add to the user. So few properties, one user can have a multiple permissions, whereas one permission set can have a multiple users. It's a many, one to many. So here one user can have a multiple permission set. Similarly, one permission set can have a multiple users or can be assigned. The permission sets are used to grant permissions temporarily or a long time specific fields. The one which we have seen when we are assigning the permission set, you can have a temporarily or a long term. Both can be done. Now, license is not mandatory while creating the permission set. So I have not specified the license while creating the permission set, right? So when we like a permission set, basically it is not per license. While creating the permission set, license is not matter. But if I give a permission set, what will happen? Now let's go ahead and show you that. If I give a license to the permission set, what will happen? Let's click on this new button. Let's say licensed permission set. If I give a some license, I'll give a something different license. Identity connect. Now click on this save. I have created, assume that I have created identity permission set. So if I go to the user level, and the user, the one user we have created, let's go to the users, open link in new tab. Now here it is a users. Just open the Eric user and click on this edit button. Permission set, you need to click on permission set. Permission set, click on edit assignment. Now, the one which we have created is licensed, right? This is the licensed permission set. Click on it, save. Applying the licensed permission set. Now, sometimes what happens is if the license is a different, if the license is a different, then we cannot assign the same permission set to the other. Now, one more thing, once the license is assigned, we cannot change this license. I cannot change the license. Whatever the license we have applied, once it is created, we cannot change it. Whether you click on edit properties or what are the option you click on it, license cannot be changed. Once it is attached, then you cannot change your license for the permission set. So in the real time, we do not use a license. That means we do not create a permission set, license based permission set. License based permission set, we will not be creating it. But after creating the permission set with license, the license type cannot be changed. So like this, we are keep on creating the permission set, right? So when we are keep on creating the permission set, the maximum number of permission set we can create in the org is 1,000. The maximum we can create 1,000 permission sets. 1,000 permission set. We can assign 1,000 permission set to the users. 1,000 permission set to the users. So basically the limit also depends on the editions. What is the different editions? But default is 1,000. And these 1,000 permission sets can be assigned to the users. That's about the permission set. Now let's see the differences between the profile and permission set. Now, profile and permission set. Now, in the profile should have a restrictive settings. That means what are the permissions user should be assigned to, and every object, what is the level of access we should have it. So it is in the profile level, we will keep a restrict access. That means if I have 3 users, and out of 3 users, 1 user should have a read access. 1 user should have read access. Another user should have a read and create access. Another user should have a read, create, and delete option. Now here, these are the different 3 users, different level of access is there. But one thing is a common. Read is common for every user. So what we will create is, we will create a profile with the just a read access, and we will assign the profile to the user 1, user 2, user 3. Then we will create a new permission set, which is having a create access, and this create access will be assigned to user 2. Another one will have a create and delete access permission set, and that permission set will be assigned to user 3. So profiles are always created with the restrict access. What are the minimum access is there? With the minimum access, we will create a profile. Whereas permission set is extend the access. What are the access you wanted to extend? We will extend using the permission set, and we will apply it on top of the profile to the user. And in the profile level, a user can have only one profile assigned. Whereas permission set is a user can have multiple permission sets. But profile is only one profile can be assigned to the user. Permission set you can assign around 1,000 permission set to the users. Now every user must have a profile. Without a profile, you cannot create a user. If you are creating a user, profile needs to be linked to the user. Whereas permission set, it is not necessary that every user should have a permission set. It is not necessary. Every user should have a permission set. Now that's about the differences between the profile and permission set. Now the assignment, create a new permission set, clone the minimum access, which is a Salesforce profile, and name it as a Salesforce minimum access. And create a new user here, first name and the last name, user license, use it as a Salesforce, and the profile is Salesforce minimum access. And on top of this, create a permission set and give some permission set name, temporary account edit, and API name is temporary account edit, and give here session activation required is false, license is none. Now object level account, give it as a modify all, and then check the permission set, then assign the permission set to the payment. So this is a new user. So new user, you need to create 3 things. Create a new user, create a new profile, and then create a permission set, assign the profile to the user and permission set to the user. And when we assign the permission set to the user, then what are the activities are done by the user? You have to note on the observations.
Session activation required. This means what will be? It should be active, right?
No, it should be deactive false. So session activation required is nothing but, so in real time, we will make it as a deactive. So basically every session your permission sets are going to change. Now, once you log out or log in back, then you want your permission set. Whatever the previous permission sets are there, those will not be applied here. So based on every session, the permission sets are gets activated. So that is the use of it, but we do not have something kind of a session based permission set, right? So we want by default whether user is logged in by default wherever they have logged in.
Okay, so all the time this should be false.
Yeah. Now the second assignment is create a permission set, which is nothing but a email permission, and assign permission set to the Hemant Kumar, and just observe this. We are not giving anything here. Just we are creating the label email permissions, and see whether you are able to see any differences once you apply the permission set. Are you able to see any differences or not? Just observe this. And then I have given the trial head, link and referral link. So that's about the permission set. Now also we have another one which is called as a permission set group. Also we have another one which is called as a permission set group. Now what is a permission set group? How do we create it? Let me open the PPT for the permission set group. We have a permission set group. Now, permission set group is right now we are creating a multiple permissions, right? So, like that, you can create a around 1,000 permission sets. You can create it. 1,000 permission sets you can create. Now, let's say here one of the user is going to user 3. We are going to assign some 20 permission sets. We are going to assign it. So tomorrow another user will be joined. After 3 months, another user will be joining it. After that, another user will be joining it. Every time, whenever the user is joined, we need to remember what are the 20 permissions that we have assigned to the user 3. The same permissions that we will be assigning to the new users also. It is so difficult to remember how many permission sets we have assigned to the and what are the different permissions that we have assigned to the user 3. It is so difficult to remember. So what we used to do is note down all the permission sets that are assigned to the user 3. That means we will be taking the notes of it, and then whenever the new user is assigned, new user is created, and if we want the same permission set, we used to look at that notes and update or assign the permission set to the those users. Now, instead of remembering and noting down the permission set, what we can do is we can group them together. We can group permission set together. And this feature was available from the Spring 20. Spring 20 onwards, this feature was introduced. So to combine the multiple permission set into the single permission set group for a user assignment. Let's say I have a permission set A, B, C, D. And here user 1 is assigned to the permission set A, B, C. And user 2 is also assigned to the both all this. Right? And now we are going to create a permission set group. Instead of having a assigning to the each permission set, I combine all these things and create a permission set group, and we will assign the permission set group to the any new user. Now tomorrow, if I wanted to add any other permission set to these all users. Now right now we have only 3 permission set. Now after a few months, client gave a one more requirement. Can you create a one more permission set and enable additional feature for this permission set? Assign this permission set to the user 1, user 2, user 3. Right. So what we can do, we can simply create a one permission set with the whatever the access is there, we can create it, and simply we have to link it to the permission set group. So what will happen automatically? It will be assigned to user 1, user 2, and user 3. As soon as I link permission set to the permission set group, immediately whoever is assigned to that permission set group, everybody will be able to get the access of permission set 4. For creating a permission set group, we need to go to the setup and search for a permission set, and you will be able to see here permission set group, and click on this new permission set group. Here it is going to ask few things. What is the label name and the API name in the description? Now let's say here I'm going to create a label is, let's say I'll create a one permission set. Let's say PS group 1, and click on it, save. To assign it. So click on this permission set assignment and click on the add permission set. It will show you all the permission set, whether it is a custom or a standard. So I'm assigning the app permission set. Similarly, if you want any other permission set, you can use it. Let's say Salesforce console user, if you want this one, or a Salesforce Apex, right? So click on the add button. Done. Now one permission set is having a 2 permissions. Now we can assign these permissions to a user. You can same thing, manage assignment, you can assign the permission set to the user. Let's add assignment. Instead of Eric, let's say Purnima. Click on this next button and click on assign. Now, here it is going to fail. The reason is whatever the permission set is there, right? So we have here update statements are there. Permission set groups that have the updated status. So this cannot be assigned. That means what is happening now, permission set group, I cannot assign to the user which is called as a Purnima. Now let me try for the Eric. Click on assign. You cannot assign the sign user permission set group to have. Now this user also I cannot assign. Now what is the reason? The reason is here we have a permission set. In the permission set group, we have added the multiple permissions. And out of that, one permission has Salesforce Apex Guru. And this has a license of cloud integration user. This is a permission set. And this is a default permission set. That means standard permission set. Standard permission set has a license of cloud integration user. When the permission set licenses does not match with the user license. When permission set license, now this is the permission set and here it is a user. Permission set license is whatever it is, like a cloud integration. Now here user license is Salesforce license or a Salesforce cloud platform license. Now if I'm trying to assign this profile, right? So here this is a permission set group and this is a user. And if I assign this permission set group to this user, it will not accept because both the licenses are not matching. Even same with the permission set. If the permission set level user license, what are the license we are using it in the permission set, if it does not hold the other user, right? So if it does not hold other user, it will not accept. So what we need to do, we need to remove the other one, which is called as a, let's take out this, remove the permission set, click on OK. Now click on done. Now one permission set is assigned, click on the add permission. If you want to add, you can add a multiple, or if you want to go with simply one, you can go with simply one. Now, right now we can assign this permission set, manage assignment. Now let's go to the add assignment. Let's say here, I'm going to assign it to the Purnima. Click on this next and then assign. Now it is assigned, click on done. Now Purnima has, for Purnima, it is assigned the permission set group, which is called as a PS group 1. PS group 1. Now here few observations. Now within the permission set group, they can have a multiple permission set. Either you can create a one, you can include one permission set, or you can include multiple permission set within the permission set group. Now permissions cannot be modified in the permission set. So if you want to change anything on the access level, right? So you have a permission set group. Now in this permission set group, right now this permission set group is assigned to the Purnima, right? So if I go to the manage assignment, it will show you that Purnima, it is assigned. Now let's say now user want to, like a client wants to update certain access on the permission set. Now when they want to access on the permission set, let's say for Purnima itself, they wanted to update the permission set. Now you cannot modify the permission set group. You cannot modify the permission set group. Do not ever modify the permission set group. Always we need to go to the permission set within this group. Always we should go to the permission set within this group. That means in this group, I have to go to the permission set group and there is a permissions which are available. So click on this permission and make a changes to the permission set. Do not make a changes on the group level, because group contains multiple permission sets. Multiple permission sets. If you change anything here in the group level, you don't know which permissions it is going to impact. Right, so that's the reason we cannot modify directly on the group level. We need to always make a changes to the permission set. Any changes you wanted, you can just change it to the permission set. And the purpose of group is just combining the multiple permissions together and assign the one permission set group to the user so that they will get access of the all the permission sets that are included in the permission set group.
But even if we make the changes at the permission set level, still it is being used in the permission set group. So that is still affected, right? It will be affected to
that is
all the
affected.
users.
Yeah, that is affected. If you change it on the permission set, ultimately the impact is going to happen group one. Now you can make a changes this direction. So you can make a changes to the, first make a changes to the permission set. And when you make a permission set changes, ultimately the group will be impacted and this group will be assigned to the user. This way you can do it. But if you do on the group level, if you do it on the group level, you can do it on the group level also. But what is the problem when you do it in the group level? Tomorrow if there is any problem happens, right? So for example, this group is having a 20 permission set. Now out of this, now you made a changes on the, other than these 20 permissions, you also made a changes on the group level. So tomorrow for maintaining this is too difficult. The other way you cannot come up, like a group, modify the group and then permission set, the other way you cannot do it. But if you do it at the inner level, permission set level, ultimately group will be affected and whoever is it is assigned this group to the user, those users also will be affected.
So if we want to give permissions temporarily to a particular user, that means we should create another permission set and assign to the user instead of using the permission set group.
Yes, either you can create another permission set, or if you feel that one of the permission set is going to hold it, you can modify the permission set also.
But whoever users are in that particular group, it will affect all those users, right?
Yes, all those users. If the requirement says that all those users need this changes, then you can make one of the permission set.
Okay.
And where do you manage the assignment, in the group one or in the individual ones?
Assignment is going to happen on the group level. So right now we have seen here, so this is a permission set, right? So now what I'm doing is, it's similar like a WhatsApp group. Like instead of sending a message to the multiple people, what you can do is you can group them. Now I can group them this permission set 1 and 2, right? So I can group them and I can keep it as a 1. Now, when I keep it as a one program, now this directly I can assign, instead of right now, I have a group base created. So simply I can assign group, I can assign to the user 3. So that when we assign the group to the user 3, then all the permissions which are available within the group, that will be reflected onto the user.
Suppose if we make any changes in the security level, means either permissions or profile changes, anything, does the admin does he have to create prepare any documentation? Does whatever changes is done, is any
Yes,
documentation that needs to be maintained?
yes, especially for the security, even small change also, we need to do the documentation.
What happen if you have different permission set and you did the manage assignment under those permission set, but not under the group one? The user will have access only to the permission set they have access to.
So in that case, what will happen is user 3 will get a different access, whatever the requirement is. So the either one of the user will be impacted.
Okay.
So if any changes which we are doing on the security level, everything should be documented. Even for a small change also we should document it. So for this security purpose, security changes has to documentation is very much important.
This also goes through the same cycle: development, quality, and production. Same.
Yeah, same. So one user can have like this, you can create a multiple permission set groups to the user 3. Right, so this is right now permission set 1 you have assigned. Permission set group 1 you have assigned. So similarly group 2 also you can assign to the user 3. Similarly other group also you can assign to the, that means user can have a multiple, user can have multiple groups, which is possible. So right now, how many permission sets can be added to the group is what are the limit is available, like 1,000 permission sets can be added to a single group. Take a assignment, create a permission set group, label it as a PSG, and session activation required should be false, license is none. And you need to assign the permission set, email permissions, temporary account, edit permission set to the group, and assign this group to the Hemant Kumar. These are the trial head links which I have given, and also we have a referral link. I have provided the referral link here. So that's about the permission set group and differences between the profile and permission set.